piece of Polish sausage lodged in the lining of my heart.
That's all.
No problem, just having a heart attack.
No, I wasn't having a heart attack. There's a little piece of sausage in there, but I'm not having a heart attack. The reality is this. I had a decent report the last time, and I am a don't ask, don't tell kind of guy when it comes to my heart. Look, you know what? I kind of don't want to know. I mean, I do want to. I need to know. I understand that, but I kind of, Look, when I wake up in the morning, if I wake up in the morning, I feel like, all right, it's a pretty good day. I'm good to go. Now, this morning, I read that an old colleague of mine, Joe Biddle, has passed away at age 78. Now, 20 years ago, 15, 18 years ago, Joe used to be a frequent guest on my show before I went to Nashville. Then I ended up on the same radio station as him in Nashville. Not at first. He was on a competing station. Then we ended up on the same station together. When I got to WNSR, they bumped him and Bill King from Afternoon Drive to make room for me. They wanted me on Afternoon Drive. That was a point in time in my career where, drive times were important. And it was, I was an afternoon drive guy. I'd been a morning drive guy. It was an afternoon drive guy. And so, fine. They bumped those guys to make room for me. And it created some tension with Kinger and more so with Joe Biddle. Then ultimately, I ended up being his boss there. Now, things got a little bit better. But I always considered him a good guy, and I always considered him a friend. He was fighting dementia near the end of his life. You hate to see that. Joe Biddle was kind of like the cartoon character of the station. You never knew what that guy might say. Kind of like Drew DeArmond here. It's kind of like that guy. Joe, we had like cut upon cut of Joe. Joe Biddle had a take one time about Pac-Man Jones that was hilarious. Because Pac-Man Jones, you couldn't keep Pac-Man Jones out of the strip clubs in Nashville. You could not keep that guy out of the strip clubs. So Joe Biddle one time on air says, you think he's addicted to naked women? Oh, my God, we played the hell out of that cut. You think he's addicted to naked women? Joe Biddle, rest in peace. And then on top of all of this, you got Joe Biddle dying in Nashville. He was a long-time columnist for the Tennessean and the Nashville Banner before that. Got the radio guy dying in England. So at 6 o'clock this morning, my oldest son sends me a text saying that he'd like to sit down with my wife and I and talk about plans for if something happens to me. I'm 62. I'm not 82. So I responded to him, one, I'm not going anywhere for a while. And B, do not worry about your mother because if something happens to me, I'm taking her with me. But it did get me thinking about how the Great Wall of Craps would get distributed and my fishing barn as well. I think I'm going to make him the executor over the craps. I look across and I see the Great Wall of Craps, and I have all this memorabilia, and I have signed stuff from Derek Jeter and Roger Clemens and Justin Morneau and other guys that, I have this great wall of, I know. How does Justin Morneau get in a conversation with Derek Jeter and Roger Clemens? Joe Mauer, baseballs that are signed over there that guys have given me, the Hank Williams helmet that's signed over there. The NFL alumni football that is signed by a bunch of NFL alumni from one of their golf tournaments that I ran for them. I got memorabilia all over the place. I got a library of books here. I got swag everywhere here. I got all these awards over here. And like, what am I going to do with this stuff? So I'm going to make Joe the executor over my craps. Let him whack it up. Now, over there in the little glass room with the slanted ceilings, my fifth son, playing the platters that matter and the stacks of wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air and, wondering what the big dog might leave him if he keeled over on the air. It's DJ Grizzly.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Thom. Hey, Thom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grace Grumpy says in the text window, he says, hey, man, if you could figure out a way to pass away on the air, think about the ratings. Well, I have thought about that in the past. And I thought about, kind of be cool maybe to kill over on the air. But it's kind of a one-day thing. You know what I mean? It's like a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It's like, you get a little story about you. It would be all over the trades. People would be sad. They would be talking about it, at lunchtime. They would talk about it around Huntsville, and then it would be it. The next day, we'd totally forgotten. Nobody would remember the next day that I died on the air. It would be like, we
would give you a nice tweet, that said, long serving, Thom Abraham.
Longest tenured talk show host in the history of North Alabama, sports talk show host in the history of North Alabama. Most years on the air, has passed away. Moving on.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that anytime soon.
Yeah, they would just go on to the next thing. You know what I mean? It would be like nature abhors a vacuum. My daddy once told me, he said, stick your finger in a glass of water. Pull your finger out of the glass of water and see the hole that you left. You know
we'd have to literally, if it happened today, tomorrow we would just move on and talk about how bad the Bucks and the Ravens were tonight.
Right. We'd have to talk about that game, and probably John would be sitting in for me.
And how it's a Thursday night game that is actually a quality matchup between two teams that lead their divisions, and yet it's a Thursday night game, so we hate it.
Yeah. It's an important game being played on a Thursday. It's an important game. I don't know how much of a quality game, but it is an important game being played on a Thursday night. And think about it. You and I are pulling for exactly opposite things here. I am absolutely pulling for the Bucks big time because I need the Ravens to get tagged because they're leading the division my favorite team is in, and you want the Ravens to win because they're tied for the lead in the NFC South with your beloved Falcons. So we're like on opposite sides of it. I could give a rat's butt about the game. Otherwise, I'll be totally honest with you. This game's going to be hard to watch because it's hard to watch on the prime. I mean, it's not hard to watch if that's all you want to watch, but I'm kind of interested in some of these college games tonight. I mean, really, I mean, for, Vatek at NC State, that's not bad. ACC, Vatek sucks.
Washington
but NC State,
Utah.
That's not bad. The Utah-Washington State game later on, that's not bad. And look, Connor Neighbors is the strength and conditioning coach at Louisiana Lafayette, and they're playing at Southern Miss. So that Wes is all over watching the Lafayette Southern Miss game with Connor as the strength and conditioning coach there. The Raging Cage. Can they still be the Raging? Are they still the Raging Cajuns? They're not like the big
they're just the
Red or something like.
No, they're the Raging Cajuns. Yeah.
Can you beat a Raging Cajuns? Because, Redskins, Indians, I don't know all of this, these name changes, Stanford Cardinal, Stanford Indians.
My grandparents are Cajun, so I like it.
So you could be, but Raging Cajuns is a.
I know. Yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't know.
Isn't a Cajun?
They got rid. There's a lot of teams that got rid of what is it? Not Commanders, but I'm trying to think of it's like Templars or like Knights. Like they've gotten rid of that terminology because apparently like Crusaders. There's been teams that have gotten rid of the Crusader name because they don't want that terminology affiliated with their school.
Okay, check this out. 2 nights in a row watching the TV with my wife, watching our shows, right? Recording the hockey game, watch the shows until she keels over, falls asleep. Okay? 2 nights in a row. Last night watching, I don't know what it was, Chicago Med or something like that. Last night was Law and Order. The night before
show that's going to get canceled next year.
What show?
I don't know.
No. Our shows don't get canceled. We watch the Law and Orders.
You watch good shows?
We watch all the Dick Wolf shows.
Good.
The
Good.
FBI's,
Makes
the
sense.
Dick Wolf shows. The Chicago's. 2 nights in a row, we're watching the show, and they mention unhoused people. Unhoused. I'm like, what? They're like, oh,
homeless?
No, you can't say homeless anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is
They're
that wrong,
unhoused.
too? Unhoused.
You got to say unhoused. I'm like, what is he talking about? They're like, do you think the kid is unhoused right now? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Unhoused? Who says unhoused? Nobody says unhoused unless they wrote it in the script. They're homeless. You can't say homeless anymore. Now it's unhoused or unhomed, but it's not homeless. The stigma with homeless, it's like, what? You don't tell me in a couple of years there isn't going to be a stigma with unhoused? Do you want to be unhoused? The hell does that mean? Unhoused.
You're just being labeled. Both. You're just being labeled.
Can't use that term anymore. Unhoused. It's just like I watch the HGTV shows with her. You know what I mean? Sometimes I watch her HGTV shows, and they're like showing the houses and stuff. This is the primary bedroom, and this is the primary bath. I'm like, what? The what? You mean the master bath? Isn't that the master bedroom?
Yeah, the master.
Oh, no.
Nope.
No.
We don't use that anymore.
None of the HGTV shows now say master bedroom. Oof. You can't say master bedroom and master bath because, master. Apparently, there's a negative connotation to the master bath and the master bedroom because, that's where the master of the house would live. But you're still I'm the master of my own home.
So eventually our bed's just not going to be labeled king and queen? Like they're just going to be all for everybody? Like this is full. You got the full and the...
You got the full, the medium, and the large. You know what I mean? And then the California large, would be like a California king would be the California large. You can't, they call a master bathroom and a master bedroom, they call it the primary bedroom and the primary bathroom.
Well, what if the secondary bathroom wants to be the primary bathroom?
I don't know.
That's a lot of...
No idea. No idea. All right, let me get these guys in here. I know I got to get to Patterson. Wolverine, these two guys, they are in cahoots. Wolverine Dan and the Phillip are on. They're like in cahoots. Let's see if we can get this done in 3 minutes.
Just put them on together.
Yeah, I just had to do it. Just put them on together. Wolverine Dan and the Phillip. I don't know if you can do that. Can you do that, Chris? Do you have the ability to do that?
Boys, hello.
Wolverine Dan, Phillip, you guys are on together.
Is that a fact?
Dan, say hello to Phillip. Phillip, say hello to Dan. Or what do you call him? Wolverine Danica.
Wolverine Danica. What's up? That's fine. I got a question for you, Tom.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, not master bedroom. So, if somebody's masturbating, what do you call it?
Oh, primary baiting.
Get out of here. Stop it. I don't know if my dump button works for that word.
Phillip, do you want to answer that question for him? You guys do the show. I died. Remember, I died on the air.
Hey, Joe Biddle. Yeah. When I think of Joe Biddle, my favorite line of his, and I ought to know it verbatim, but it's talking about drinking, alcohol.
Mm. Yeah.
And something about clear in the morning.
He knew something about.
Yeah. Do you remember that at all? He mentioned it numerous times.
I know, and I don't remember it exactly, but I'll try and remember it. I probably got it in my board here somewhere. Yeah, Joe was very familiar with the drinking situation. Yeah.
Hey, while Wolverine Danica is on with us, I propose right now on the Thom Abraham Show, the Messiah, Sports Talk Radio, in lieu of what happened to what's his name yesterday that came out, the quarterback guy that got screwed by the NFL.
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Yes. Right now, we begin at this moment the Him Too movement.
Him Too?
Him Too.
Would this be guys that were wrongfully accused?
Rise up.
Yeah.
Men need to rise up and picket, and let's just raise Cain. The Him Too movement versus the Me Too movement. Let's go.
All right, what do you think, Wolverine Dan?
I don't really think much of that at all.
be honest with you. I do want to tell everybody not worry about Thom Abraham. He takes Metamucil every day, which is a fiber, not only for you know what, but it's also good for your heart.
I do have some fiber every day, but it's not Metamucil.
Okay, well, I know you have fiber, but Thom, get rid of your stuff like I did. Just give it to your family and let them enjoy it, Thom. And I don't miss it at all. You know I got a lot of memorabilia. Give it away. And
but you got one,
health, guys. You all got to work out. I work out. I'm a stud.
I can't
work out.
They won't let me. My cardiologist won't let me. All I can do is walk. He will not let me even. I said, can I just lift light weights? No. My cardiologist just will not let me do anything but walk, and I'm not walking.
Like, can you do that?
That I get to do. Yeah, I'm good at that. I get to do that. I'm okay with that.
I know you're good at that.
Yeah. But see, you got one son and one daughter. It's easy for you. I have 4 sons and 5 daughters. So and we got a lot of stuff. So what do I do? 5 sons or 4 sons. How many do I got? 4 sons and 5 daughters. All right.
I don't count.
No, you don't count for this. I might give you something though. I might slip you a little something here. You know, you might get the Monday Night Football Hank Williams Jr. helmet.
That's what I'm talking about.
But there's a lot of stuff here to be whacked up, Dan. So I don't want them. What we don't want to do is leave them with. I don't want anything that will cause arguments. I've seen it. I saw it in my parents, my mom and her brothers when my grandfather died, and I saw it in Alan's family. There were 6 of them. There's 6 kids, and when their parents died, my in-laws died. It was got a little sketchy for a minute, you know, because they're like trying to.
Before you leave, do it now before you leave.
I'm not giving them anything. Everything's staying right here. All right, man.
All right.
Appreciate you. Now, Philip, what else you got?
I don't know. That's about it. Kind of sad to hear about Biddle.
Yeah, it was sad to hear about Biddle, and he had been in hospice care for a while. He had the dementia. It was sad. I mean, it was sad to hear about Biddle, and you know, you remember Biddle and Joe King, and Bill King and Joe Biddle.
You know who would be neat to get on and conversate with briefly?
Yeah. Who?
Shafe. Where's Shafe at?
Shafe is the morning show producer at 104.5 The Zone now. He handles the morning show. I don't even know who's on it anymore, but he's the morning show producer for 104.5 The Zone.
Huh.
So he's there.
So he's not with WSM anymore.
No, he's not. He went
for a while.
And you know, 104.5 The Zone is now in the building that we used to be in at 106.7 The Fan. So he's back in the same studio when he was my guy at 106.7 The Fan, you know, because they bought, Citadel or whoever it was, Cumulus bought them, and then they moved in there. So 104.5 now has, is now in that same studio. They're actually in the studio that Kix Brooks used to use for the American Country Countdown. Remember, Kix Brooks has American Country Countdown, and that's where they put 104.5 in Kix's studio, which was across the hall from my studio. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Let's get a break. When we come back, Matt Patterson joins us, Buckhorn Bucks coach, for our weekly visit. He's up next. This is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
After a long, hot summer, there's nothing quite like the cool, crisp mornings of fall in Huntsville, Alabama. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's time to get out there. Whether it's hunting, camping, boating, biking, or kayaking, we've got the F-150 to take you there. It's Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got 2022 F-150s in stock on the lot, ready for your driveway today. And with your good credit, get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 60 months. This offer ends 10/31. Being the best-selling truck in America for 44 years in a row is no small feat. But I promise you, if you come drive an F-150, you'll understand. Woody Anderson Ford has nearly 100 F-150s to choose from and lots of colors and option packages. One of these is right for you. Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford. Exceptional deals on all our trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. And a great selection of Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles. Woody Anderson Ford, corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
Hey there, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. We're celebrating 40 legendary years here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. And to kick this off, we're coming in hot with our all-new Alabama Hot Chicken. Fresh southern fried chicken breast smothered in a blend of tangy, immune-boosting herbs and spices with a spicy finish. Served up with a side of homemade smoked Gouda cheese grits, Miss Mary southern greens, and garlic bread. And there's plenty more where that came from. Stop in today and celebrate with us. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
This fall, Bob Wallace Appliance has everything you need to make your kitchen the perfect game day destination with appliances from Whirlpool and Maytag. Huntsville, Florence, Coleman, and at bobwallaceappliance.com.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. The segment of the show is brought to you by Logan Hoffman and the hometown lenders of Hazel Green, because each and every week they bring us Matt Patterson, head football coach of the Buckhorn Bucks. Tomorrow night, the final regular season game of the season. I just can't fathom it. I just can't believe it. Of course, Buckhorn already locked into the playoffs, where they will be at Hartselle next week, but business at hand with Grissom coming up tomorrow night at Milton Frank Stadium. And joining us now is Matt Patterson. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, welcome back. How are you?
Man, Tom, doing great this morning. How are y'all?
I'm fantastic. I just can't believe this is it. This is the end of the regular season. I mean, this is it's just shocking how fast it goes once the season starts.
Man, it flies. I mean, it really does. I mean, I know a little bit. You're starting to feel the effects of the grind a little bit mentally and physically. But I mean, it's still wild to think that we're week 10, and it seems like just yesterday we were in the summer stages of getting everything ready to go, and we're here in the last week of October, and playoff football starts next week. But obviously we got Grissom Friday night in a big good ball game, good matchup at Milton Frank Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just looking back, you ran into an absolute buzzsaw in Decatur, but we did not say anything about it until once the game started on the broadcast. The fact that you had so many kids missing practices throughout the week, and yeah, you got them back, but you could tell that was a team. You don't like to make excuses, but you can tell that was a sick team, a team that was recovering from a flu that went through your locker room, went through the halls of the school, and those boys were wore out. I mean, they just were absolutely wore out there, and yet they still battled, right to the bitter end.
They did, Tom. As a competitor, I was a little frustrated, and that's kind of what we talked about Friday night and Sunday is, regardless of you're 100% or 50% or 80%, when you put the uniform on, you cross the white lines, you got to go. I was a little frustrated at times because I've seen our best. Mm-hmm. We weren't at our best Friday night, but then when you got home and, you reflect on things and you think, I'm so proud of them for showing up, They showed up. They put the pads on for their teammates. They put the pads on for their school, and they went out there and they gave it everything they had. And quite honestly, those kids didn't have much in the tank. That flu bug has taken a toll on them, and you might feel better than you did the first couple of days of having it, but when you got back out there, obviously some of our guys that we've seen play at high levels all year long just didn't have any real energy. And like I said, my hat's off to them for at least having the courage to come out there and strap it up. And when they could have very easily said, "I don't feel like it," and stood on the sidelines or stayed at home.
Yeah, it's one thing to say that you feel good, because you do feel good, but you always have that when you're coming out of being sick, right? You feel good and you're like, okay, let's go. And whether you're doing a job that is a normal job or doing what they're doing, when you go out and you're exerting physical, exertion like that, all of a sudden you realize I'm not 100%. I mean, it shows up. I mean, there was no doubt about that. But you also ran into a team. Let's not take anything away from Decatur. Those Red Raiders, I mean, they haven't had a winning record in 3 or 4 years. They were very young. They were very similar to you a couple of years ago and your team. And now all of a sudden, I mean, they had 16 seniors starting on that team. You see what the effect of that was, and goodness gracious, Ellis Dickman, the quarterback, Jalen Brown, the wide receiver, number 9, 6'1", high point and everything. That is a well-oiled machine, and that's a very, very tough region.
Oh, absolutely. That region is that region is outstanding, 1 through 4. I mean, Coleman's really good. I mean, Coleman and them with the triple overtime. I mean, Athens is a good football team too now. Mm-hmm. Like, we've seen them on film in some different scout games that we've had. We've crossed over. They're no slouch either. I mean, I know their record's not what it normally is, but man, they got some good football players there too. That region is brutal. But I thought Ellis Dickman Friday night was outstanding. I mean, he was throwing pinpoint, balls, and there was times where we were in better than average coverage, and the Brown boys going up making some big plays, and Dickman was putting the ball where he needed to. Man, he is, and my hat's off to him, because that team and that quarterback has paid their dues.
Yeah.
They've taken their lumps the last couple of years. They started out 0-4 last year, then got hot and got into the playoffs, and obviously ran into the state champion Clay Chalkville in the first round, and then come back this year and start 8-0. Kind of knew it was coming. Like, I knew when we scheduled that game that that's what was coming. But in non-region games, the team, when you look at the teams we play, we played Madison County for the rivalry, just down the road. Well, we played Helena to kind of see where we were in 6A competition early, kind of test the waters. We played Gunnersville, probably the best 5A program in North Alabama. I know they've fallen twice in the past couple of weeks, but they've lost their quarterback that we saw and how good he was. They're going to be a 8-9 win team every year, and then obviously Decatur, another playoff team that I knew was going to be good. You want to test your kids. You don't want to go out there and just play a bunch of teams that you're going to get wins and pad your stats and things like that, because you will never find out how good
right.
you are.
Well, that's an interesting concept too, because you played a very difficult non-region schedule. There's no doubt about it. On the other hand, could you see the value of, maybe mixing in a couple just from a confidence standpoint? Do you worry about it taking their confidence away, when you play a really tough, non-region schedule?
I did a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I mean, when we came into the bye week and in the Gunners, when we looked up and we lost 4 in a row, you kind of worried about it, but the kids kept showing up and being resilient. They kept coming to practice. They kept getting better. They kept taking coaching. There hasn't been poor attitudes or the poor me's. It's like, yesterday I thought we had one of our better practices that we've had in a while. I mean, there was energy, and it wasn't coach-led energy. It was player-led energy, and that's things that you're looking for. We're not ready to hang it up. This time last year we were off week 10. We were taking up shoulder pads and helmets, and it was a pretty sick feeling from a coach's standpoint that you weren't in the playoffs and people were still playing a regular season game and the playoffs that were coming up a week later.
Yeah.
And that's why we took our bye week 4 was we wanted to be playing a little bit deeper into the year, kind of see where the guys were. And obviously we got another week next week.
Well, and for Grissom, this is their playoff game, right? This is their last game. They want to finish with a win. They want to have that good feeling. A lot of teams will go into the final week before the playoffs, and when they know they have a playoff game, and they'll kind of rest some guys and do some things like that. But I don't know. I mean, I would think if you're 6-3 and as opposed to 3-6, you might take it differently. How do you attack this game? Because it would be really nice to be able to go out there, have a really solid performance, and get a victory going into the playoffs, knowing that Looming is a very good Hartzell team. So, how do you prepare your team for this game? Because it's not meaningless. It's really not. It's not meaningless.
No, you got to win.
Yeah.
You out there to play to win. You play the next game. You got to go out there and get the job done. That's the bottom line. I think you go out there and you rev your engine, and you got to keep all cylinders firing for the next week. I think sometimes you can go in and we're going to lay low and, take it as it is, and we're going to worry about bigger things down the road, and they come back to bite you the next week when you're not in rhythm, you're not playing with confidence. We got to go sharpen our blade, and I think you do that on Friday nights, and I just don't think you take your foot off the gas. I think you go out there to play to win. I mean, it's the next ball game because anything can happen. I mean, if you want to kind of rest some guys and maybe keep from banging them up, maybe you can rest them a little bit in practice. But, on Friday night you go out there and people pay money to come watch you play. They deserve a show, and they deserve to see your best players. And the team deserves to get a win.
Buckhorn coach Matt Patterson with us talking about his upcoming game tomorrow night to end the regular season. It would be at Milton Frank Stadium. Be nice to have a good crowd out there. Be a good night for football and to take in the last chance to see these guys in the regular season. Of course, next week down at Hartzell to begin the playoffs. And, I want you to talk about something from a strategic standpoint. Just it seemed that there was a problem with snaps, a lot of high snaps. And I was trying to, during the broadcast, talk about how that really does throw the timing off. Thank God you got athletic quarterbacks and you have Terrence Robinson back there, and he was able to go up and get a lot of those balls. But when you have high snaps like that, it's got to throw off. I have no experience in this stuff because back in the 80s and 90s, we were all under center. We were doing our shotgun stuff. But, now it's all shotgun. When you have a high snap like that, it would seem like it would throw off the timing of a lot of the stuff that you're trying to do with the running plays. Just talk about that a little bit and why all of a sudden that happened, because you hadn't seen a lot of that this year.
No, I haven't. Probably have not seen a high snap since Gadsden City, to be honest with you. I think the two centers that we've come in there and to give us some snaps do a really good job. And, heck, man, it's kind of like a pitcher sometimes. You've thrown 1,000 fastballs right down the middle, and next thing you know, you can't find it for a couple pitches. So I think it kind of goes with that. But, yeah, you're right. It does throw the timing off a little bit. And, that's what I tell the quarterbacks all the time. You got to be a shortstop at quarterback, because you don't know where that ball's coming or where it's going to be. You got to be able to adjust to bad snaps and still keep us on course. So, it's just I guess it's just the way of the game and the way the things cycle. And, it's like you said, back in the 80s, everybody was under center, and, the game cycles in waves from the old school Notre Dame box and the Four Horsemen and all those.
Well, wait a
guys.
minute. I wasn't coaching then. I mean, we didn't do. It wasn't like it was single wing football, coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
come on.
But Tom, you're like me. You're a football junkie. And, you've seen the cycles of the games,
Oh, yeah.
and you know how everything comes back in. I mean, everybody's like, well, they're not running the. Everybody's quit running the wishbone. No, Nebraska's still running the wishbone. They just do it out of the eye.
Right.
People are still running the wishbone now. They're just doing it out of the gun. They're still running zone reads with the bubble screens. I mean, it is what it is. You read the end and you throw it out there. What's the difference of you reading the veer and pitching it to the back?
Right. Yeah, it's a great point.
It's the same concepts. It's just different presentation.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Matt Patterson with us here. And I got to say, too, it has been so much fun to watch, Cohen Fielder, right, sophomore, what a Mike linebacker that shows up with bad intentions wherever the ball is. Harlan Pitts is a junior. Gavin Staley, junior. Sammy Scruggs, a sophomore. The freshman, Ian Harrell. My gosh, E.J. Hall, who has given you, when he's not jumping off sides, he's like a freshman. He does what freshmen do. They do things like that, jump off sides. But, I mean, that kid, when he's not doing that, he's making plays all over the place as a freshman. Jaden Rice, a sophomore. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's amazing. McGrady is just a junior. It's amazing how young this football team is in so many positions. And you got to – I know you're focused on tomorrow night and you're focused on the playoff. But, man, when you look ahead, what is this going to look like in another year or two?
Well – I'm with you, Tom. There's a lot of bright spots for this football team down the future, for the growth of our program and things like that. And there's good days ahead. There's no doubt about it. But when you just mentioned all those players and things, you got to think about, to me, sitting in my chair and you get to evaluate everything in the program. I'm really, really proud of the job our coaches have done this year to, we don't ask these kids to win ball games. I never ask a kid to go out there and you got to win tonight. We just ask them to go out there and play hard and give us effort.
Right.
And be in the positions, and when you get a chance to make a play, make a play. And if you make more plays than the other team does, more than likely you're going to win the game. But man, our coaching staff has done an outstanding job of getting our guys in the right positions for the opportunity to make a play every Friday night. And, I know people look at the records and sometimes to say that, you get all upset with coaches and different things and look to play the blame game with records and stuff. I feel like if you come and watch our guys play this year, throw the record out the window, you've seen our guys improve each and every week.
Yeah.
They've gotten better as the year goes on. And, like I said, I think that's a testament to our coaching staff. I mean, we got a relatively young staff that does a great job. Great job in the weight room, great job of practice organization, game prep. We know our opponents, and, that's all we can really do is we got to put the kids in position to go out there and make plays. And, I've been really proud of everybody in the group just because I feel like we've gotten better and they've done everything I've asked them to do. And that's, as a head coach, that's all you really can ask for.
Yeah, and I don't want to, and I don't want to neglect the seniors either, because I mean, between T-Rob and Lowry and Kyler Douglas and Raylon Alexander and your seniors, those are the kids you inherited, and it's always tough. They had a different regime when they came in. Now they get you, as a junior, you come in, and now you're their head coach, and you got to get them to buy in as well. And their senior leadership has been, I thought, really good.
Unbelievable.
I think that those guys have been great, and they bought into what you were bringing in and what you were selling, and accepted the young guys that you felt like you had to play.
Yep. Well, they've been outstanding. Like, they do. I mean, I can't say enough good things about our seniors. Yesterday we did our tradition with something I started 2 years ago, was a senior send-off. We line up going into the locker room or coming off the practice field, and the seniors get to run through kind of like a old school victory line of their teammates and coaches.
Yeah.
It's our last regular season padded practice.
Yeah.
If you go out there and say we're going to do it next week and you win, well, you got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So, I said this is something we were going to do, and we did it. And I kind of get emotional a little bit.
Yeah.
When you think about them, man, because your time with them's running short. But I hope they can look back one day and remember some of the things that we taught them, and help them grow to be better men, better husbands,
yeah,
and ultimately successful, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
All right, so I'm going to give you one. This is from the old coach to the young coach. Now, you don't burn the boot then, do you? You just you have your thing where they run out and everything else. So I'm going to just give you this. We did this all the way through in college. We were doing this when I was coaching in college. We did it as well. That last padded practice, okay, we would have all day long. We had a little metal bucket, and we'd find some nasty, gnarly cleat that was in the locker room that got left behind. It was just beat up, lousy cleat, and we would soak it in some gasoline and put it in the bucket and leave it soaking there in the bucket, during the day. And then we would go out for that last practice, and when the sun's getting low and you get to that last time, you're going to have the seniors, we would set the shoe on fire in the bucket, in the metal bucket. We would have it on fire there, and the seniors the whole team would get around it, and then each senior would come out, and they would just say a few words about what their experience meant while we had that little fire going. We were burning the cleat. We called it the burning of the boot. And you know what I mean? It was, you want to talk about emotional? There wasn't a dry eye on the team by the time you walked off the field. So there you go, Coach. I'm giving you one. Burn the boot some year and see how that plays.
I'll have to go off campus to burn the boot. I don't think they'll allow me to burn.
They'll let you do that anymore. You can't burn no boot anymore. But there you go, a little campfire. All right, Coach. Well, looking forward to it tomorrow night. Milton Frank Stadium taking on Grissom, a Grissom team that is certainly looking for a win to end their season, and you're going to give them the battle for sure. I know that. I appreciate you as always, Coach.
You too, Tom. Thanks for having been on, and go Bucks.
All right, let's get a break in here. When we come back, maybe we got a second to open up the phone lines. Otherwise, we'll set you up for hour number 2. Burn the boot, man. I'm just saying, burn the boot. It's a Thom Abraham show. Maybe we'll burn the boot like at the end of the year on the radio show, and we'll maybe have the listeners stand around and tell stories. We'll be back with more after this. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half or a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/take-it-to-the-house or rolltide.com/take-it-to-the-house. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org. YKTA wants you to join their team. YKTA is currently adding machine maintenance and die maintenance positions to their fast-growing company. YKTA has new improved work schedules with built-in days off. Pay range is $25 to $33 based on experience and additional shift differential. And YKTA has opportunities for increased pay above top range through advanced skills training. Apply today at yktal.com/careers. YKTA is an equal opportunity employer.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again proud to be a sponsor of all things football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Goodness, your records just quitting balls of fire.
R.I.P. to Jerry Lee Lewis. We're talking about all the other people that died. Jerry Lee Lewis passing away. All right. Jerry Lee Lewis taking us right to the break, Grizz, or we're going to have our LQ music? We're going to Jerry Lee takes right to the break.
We've got our LQ music. Unless you want to go straight to it, that's fine.
I don't know. Whichever you want to do. You can leave Jerry Lee on if you want to do that and take us to the break with that. I'll tell you what, it's time for Beat the Big Dog. We're going to do it at the top of the hour. You can win tickets to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl if you can beat me, and everybody's beating me right now. 5 college games, 1 pro game. Be caller number 3 right now. And you'll play Beat the Big Dog when we return. 256-576-4977. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers will be shorthanded when they host Lamar Jackson and the Ravens tonight in the opening game of NFL Week 8. 4 starters out for Tampa Bay, including defensive back Antoine Winfield Jr., cornerback Carlton Davis, and tight end Cam Brate. Ravens tight end Mark Andrews, questionable with a knee injury. Bucs have lost 4 of 5, yet they are tied for first in the NFC South with Atlanta. Baltimore's tied with Cincinnati atop the AFC North. NBA, a vow from LeBron James to be more aggressive amid his first 0-4 start since his rookie season 19 years ago. LeBron had 8 miscues in last night's loss to Denver as the Lakers fell to 0-4. James says he'll make the change to his approach starting with LA's next game tomorrow night against the Timberwolves. Lakers power forward Anthony Davis, who appeared to tweak a back issue last night, says he's fine. He doesn't see himself missing any time.
Four Heisman Trophy winners, 33 Southeastern Conference championships, 18 national championships. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome back. Stan McDonald from the Stanton Law Firm. I had lunch with Lewis just recently and with a client of ours, a mutual client, and great to hear all the good things going on at the Stanton Law Firm.
Thank you, Wes. The Stanton Law Firm, as you know, we've discussed before, we're dirt lawyers. We do a lot of real estate, litigation and closing. And yes, my son Lewis McDonald enjoyed meeting you a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of your friends. He is, as you know, he's opened up a commercial closing division. So he's really helping a lot of people who are trying to close, buy, or sell on their commercial property. And you can't be in this community doing business without knowing Wes neighbors.
I don't know about that, but it sure was getting to meet another McDonald and talking a little bit about his grandfather, Coach Dye, and right, the different things. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your listeners are really going to enjoy meeting Lewis and you in this community. And like I said, at Jacob Title or the Stanton Law Firm, we're closed business. We do some good commercial closings, residential closings. We appreciate being part of your show.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine across the area. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-70s. Dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A little more cloud cover for your Friday afternoon. Still going to be a really nice day. Temperatures once again climbing into the low and mid-70s. It'll be a beautiful evening for some Friday night football. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Local sports is covered right here.
Well, appreciate what you guys do for sports, but also for high school sports and taking time to talk to us. That means a lot, and appreciate what you guys do, and appreciate you having us on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford for all your service needs. The service department at Woody Anderson Ford is honestly second to none. I mean, when you go in there and you check it out and you see it, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to pull into those service lanes and you're like, did I just pull into the showroom? Did I just pull into the Taj Mahal here of service departments? Well, that's what the service department is like at Woody Anderson Ford, from the beautiful furniture that they have and the knowledgeable people and the pride that they take in that shop. It's just incredible. And, when you see that, you know these people take a great deal of pride in what they do, so they're going to take a great deal of pride in taking care of my stuff in my rig. So it's Woody Anderson Ford. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Go to woodyAndersonFord.com and see what is available because they kind of move kind of quick. They do kind of move kind of quick over there. And so you're going to want to make sure that you check out some of the great deals that they have at Woody Anderson Ford.
There are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I got to know everything you know as soon as you know it.
Well. It's time for this week's episode of Beat the Big Dog. And to be quite honest with you, I have been taking a thrashing this year. I have been taking a thrashing. I've been beaten 4 times already this year. So we'll see.
I don't know how to say this without sounding a little rude, but you're a lemon.
So don't be a lemon. We don't want you to be a lemon. But I believe that we have new meat in the doghouse. Yeah, I think we do. Rick's jumping the gun there a little bit there. We probably should find out. But Bradley, the rated rookie, is up, and he's going to play Beat the Big Dog. Bradley, have you ever called the show before?
I don't think so.
Here we go. All right, we got a little Ric Flair in there for you then. What? Give me the background behind the rated rookie nickname. I like that.
It's just my fantasy football league name.
Oh, okay.
I usually go with the top rated rookies and try to run with them.
How are you doing on fantasy this year?
Everybody's hurt.
So you're working that waiver wire big time? I got to check tonight. I don't think I got anybody going in this game tonight. I wouldn't have any Bucks or Ravens. Yeah. All right. So in Beat the Big Dog, the way this works is we alternate picking games so that we don't end up all picking the same exact results because it's not Tie the Big Dog. It's Beat the Big Dog. And you will hear Grizz's pick before you make your pick. So the question is, do you want to go first on the first game or the second game?
Second game.
You say second game? Okay. All right, so I'll go first on this first game. Then you'll hear Grizz's opinion, and then we'll hear from you. All right, here we go. We're going to start in the Big Ten. Ohio State is minus 15.5 at Penn State. Penn State licking their wounds still from a couple of weeks ago when Michigan took them out behind a woodshed up at the Big House. This is the first big test, I think, for Ohio State going on the road. It's going to be nuts there. I think that Penn State can hang a little bit here. They're going to lose the game, but I think Penn State is going to put a little scare into Ohio State, play some solid defense. I will take the 15.5 with the homestanding Nittany Lions. What do you think, Grizz?
Totally agree with you. It's going to be rocking. It's too many points. Ohio State still wins.
All right, so he's got Penn State as well with the 15.5 points. What do you think, Bradley?
I'm taking Ohio State.
Like Ohio State to hammer them, huh? Okay. All right, he's got Ohio State. All right, on this one, you guys will pick first. All right, Grizz, here you go. Kentucky gets 12.5 at Tennessee.
12.5?
12.5.
Yeah, I'm going with it. Yeah, go Wildcats.
All right, so he's going to take Kentucky and take the 12.5. What do you think, Bradley?
UT all the way.
Are you a UT guy?
By 3 touchdowns.
You're a UT guy, or are you just saying UT all the way in this game?
I'm a UT guy.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go.
By 3.
By 3 touchdowns, which means easy cover. I'll tell you what, this is going to be interesting. I think Kentucky's going to make this a game for a while, for a minute, and then UT is going to pull away. Will Levis is a really nice quarterback. If Kentucky doesn't make mistakes, they can hang around in the game for a while. Kentucky also runs the ball really well, running the ball for like 230 some odd yards a game. I really, and I hate Tennessee wearing the black uniforms. I just wish, Tennessee would be Tennessee, for God's sakes. They don't need to wear these hokey uniforms. I'm vamping here because I don't want to make my pick. I am going to take UT. I'll go with you on this one and take UT. So we're both on the opposite side of Grizz on that one. All right, on this one, I go first. Arkansas is minus only 3.5 at Auburn. I mean, Auburn a chance here to win a conference game. Can Auburn get it done? Now, Arkansas is going to do a lot of things right. They're going to run the ball really well. They play good defense. I think Arkansas is going to win the game. The hook bothers me a little bit. I think Arkansas, though, I'm going to take Arkansas. I will lay the 3.5. I'll take the Hogs on this one. What do you think, Grizz?
I have to agree with you. Woo pig.
No analysis at all?
Nah.
You just won't woo
No,
pig?
because I feel like that, as bad as their secondary is for Arkansas, I think they're going to be able to do enough stopping the run for Auburn. But I think that hook, there's always that hook, and I think that hook's there because they're at home. So I would have to say that I think Arkansas is going to win, but watch Auburn cover.
Well, wait a minute. So you taking Arkansas or Auburn?
I'm taking Arkansas though.
Okay,
I'm just
so you're
saying.
going to lay the 3.5.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just predicting that you're going to lose this bet.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to lose the bet. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
okay.
Definitely.
All right, okay.
I'm not going to pick Auburn. I've been picking Auburn this year, and it's been they've lost me.
Well, you're right about the bad pass defense of Arkansas. The only problem is that if there's a team that you're going to play that can't throw the ball,
it might as well be Auburn.
The one.
It might as well be Auburn.
The one. Right. Their pass defense is going to look great probably.
I'm going to take Arkansas. I think they beat them by 7.
All right. What do you think, Bradley?
Arkansas, Auburn
Dysfunctioned Auburn. Okay. All right, and this one, you guys go first. This is a fascinating game on a number of different levels. Ole Miss is a 2.5-point favorite, Grizz, favorite at Texas A&M. What do you think about Ole Miss as a 2.5-point favorite at A&M after they got rocked against LSU?
He wants to talk about dysfunctional. I'm taking Ole Miss over A&M. A&M's dysfunctional right now. It doesn't seem like they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah. What do you think, Bradley? He says Ole Miss minus 2.5.
I'm taking Ole Miss. K-State is the worst $90 million ever spent.
Dirt now. Yeah. I don't think they can do it. They won't do it. I mean, they're stuck with that dude, and that buyout doesn't go down to a manageable figure for like 3 years.
It's despicable.
I think despicable is there for the next 3 years, to be honest with you. And not that he wants to, he tells the recruits, you know what I mean? Don't go to a place that wins. Why would you want to go to a place that wins? Come here. You can play right away. We suck. Having said that, goodness gracious almighty. Okay, I'll take Ole Miss too. I just can't take A&M, but they're getting points. I think A&M could win this game, and then Ole Miss would be back-to-back losses all of a sudden after, they'll be sliding down that pole like crazy. But I'm going to say I'll go ahead and take Ole Miss as well. All right, next one. I'm up first. Cocktail party. Florida gets 22.5 against Georgia in Jacksonville. I just think it's too much. I just think that I know Georgia's been covering lately. Florida's still got some athleticism. They got a quarterback that can do two things if he's got his head screwed on straight. It's just too much. This game is always a game no matter what. I don't see Georgia blowing Florida out. I mean, they can win the game by 17 and it'll be easy, but they won't cover. So I'll take the 22.5 with the Gators. What do you got, Chris?
I agree with you. Even though it's, said quote, neutral game, I think this is going to be this is like any other big rivalry in the SEC. I think this is going to be a very competitive game, and I see Georgia winning, but I see Florida covering.
What do you got, Bradley?
Taking Florida, Georgia's not consistent at all.
All right, so we are on the same side of that one. So we're on opposite sides so far of one game. We're on opposite sides of the Penn State-Ohio State game. So here's the last game. This is our only NFL game that I put in the mix. You guys are first on this. Grizz, the by God Green Bay Packers on Sunday night get 11.5 points at Buffalo.
11.5? Man, as much as I have not really appreciated Aaron Rodgers this last week or this last couple of days, that's a lot of points for. No, I'm gonna have to go Green Bay here, man. I really am. I'm really gonna have to go Green Bay here. That's too many points. I think the Bills win, but Green Bay covers.
All right. So what do you think, Bradley? You get 11.5 if you like the Packers. You got to lay it if you like the Bills.
Taking the Bills, the Packers just lost to the Commodores.
They did. They lost to Lionel Richie and the Commodores. So yeah. I you know what? I'm saying the Pack is. This is the last stand for the Pack. I mean, they're going to drop the 3-5. I mean, they are going to drop the 3-5 because they're not going to win the football game. But I think that they're going to be inspired. I think they'll play hard. Josh Allen is my fantasy football quarterback back in the lineup this week. But I'm going to take the Packers. I'm going to take the 11.5 points. Bills win the game by a touchdown. I'll take the Packers here. All right, so what we got is Ohio State minus 15.5 at Penn State. I have Penn State. You have Ohio State. We agree begrudgingly on UT laying 12 and a hook. Grizz is on the other side of us there. We all like Arkansas minus 3.5 at Auburn. We all like Ole Miss minus 2.5 at A&M. And we all like the Gators getting 22.5 against the Georgia Bulldogs in Jacksonville. I've got the Packers with 11.5. You've got the Bills. You're laying on 11.5. All right, good luck with this, Bradley. Good luck with your rated rookie fantasy team. And you'll know Monday how you did.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Job at a rated rookie getting in there. I mean, the Penn State Ohio State game. I'm so unsure of my picks now. That's the problem. I am so unsure of my picks because I'm bad. I'm going bad right now. You look at the way I've gone. I mean, my gosh. You had 19 and 23 on the season. I have only beaten you guys outright once. I got a couple of ties. I've only beaten you outright one time. I'm 1-4-2. Gunnersville Chris is going to the game. Floyd is going to the game. Dale is going to the game. Wolverine Joe is going to the game. It's out of control. It's absolutely nuts. And by the way, speaking of quarterback changes, Grizz, what are you talking to your mom or what? Speaking of quarterback changes, in the NFL, we talked about the Indianapolis Colts making that change, and they have benched Matt Ryan for the rest of the season. All right, and ostensibly they're going with the kid from Texas. We'll see, how he does. Carolina says they're going with P.J. Walker the rest of the way. P.J. Walker. I mean, the Baker Mayfield experiment is already over in Carolina. Who knows what's going to happen in his future? But how about Andy Dalton? Andy Dalton is now in for Jameis Winston. And Winston's back healthy. So even with Winston healthy, Andy Dalton takes over in New Orleans. And that is kind of an interesting development as well. Some good college football tonight. All right, we got some interesting college football tonight along with this Baltimore-Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay's getting the 1.5, 2. There's a couple of threes out there. Tampa Bay getting a couple of points, but they're missing 4 key starters. Virginia Tech getting 13.5 at NC State. It's not going to be enough, most likely. Louisiana Lafayette, very strong football team, thanks to Connor Neighbors. They're a 1.5-point favorite at Southern Miss. That'll be maybe the most competitive game of the night, is the Lafayette-Southern Miss game. Or, I'm sorry, Louisiana, Raging Cajuns. I thought they didn't want to be called, on my sheet at wagertalk.com, they're still listed as UL Lafayette. Grizz, aren't they just Louisiana now? Because I remember getting I remember getting game notes when I was doing the Middle Tennessee State games. And I would get game notes, and it would say, do not call us UL Lafayette. Do not call us Louisiana Lafayette. Do not call us Lafayette. You just call us Louisiana. We're the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
The website is louisiana.edu. And on their website, though, it says University of Louisiana, and then it says Lafayette on the bottom.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And it says it in their website search. I mean, it still says Louisiana at Lafayette.
Right, but you're not supposed to call them.
Right, Louisiana Lafayette.
And see, if you look at the college football schedule at ESPN tonight, it just says Louisiana at Southern Miss.
Yeah, covers.com just says Louisiana versus Southern Miss odds.
Now, I use the Wager Talk.
I was just looking at the first article I saw.
Right. So I use Wager Talk, and they're still calling it UL Lafayette.
Good.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Or is it bad? I don't know.
I'm surprised you can say Raging Cajun.
It's always one word. I don't know.
Has Southern Miss always been Southern? Have they always been the Eagles? Southern Miss?
Yeah, the Golden Eagles, I think.
Were they always that, or did they used to have an Indian name? I wonder if I don't remember if Southern Miss had changed. So many teams had to change their name. Remember when Marquette was the Warriors? The Marquette
That's what I'm
Warriors?
saying. Like Warriors, Crusaders, like
You
teams
can't be a
change their
Warrior
name.
anymore.
Can't be a
What's wrong with being a Warrior? See, that's why I wanted Washington to become the Washington Warriors, not the Washington Lionel Richie and the Commodores. I mean, what Commanders? That's like being. That's almost like, you know what it reminds me of is Vanderbilt. You know, Commodores.
Yeah. I mean, Ole Miss is still the Rebels.
Oh, that's a battle though.
Yeah.
Remember they had to get rid
Rebel
of Colonel
Black
Red.
Bears. Rebel Black Bears.
No, the Black Bear is
remember
there.
that.
Yeah, well, they got the Black Bear. The mascot now is a black bear, which nobody understands why.
And a land shark.
The land shark was that was the nickname of the defense, and they got to get rid of Colonel Red.
Yeah.
Now Franklin County, where I live, Franklin County's still the Rebels, and they still use Colonel Red. And I love telling this story. You know why Franklin County is the Rebels? Do you remember? I've told the story before, but do you remember?
I don't remember. I know you've said it before.
It's a fascinating story. So when the Confederate States were seceding from the Union for the Civil War, Alabama seceded, and Tennessee hadn't seceded yet. And Franklin County, they're like, the hell with that. We're out. So they actually became Alabama. Franklin County was annexed by Alabama because they wanted to secede with Alabama and not and then however long later, Tennessee then seceded and joined the Confederacy. And when that happened, Franklin County went back to Tennessee. But for a while, Franklin County was actually in Alabama. It was part of the state of Alabama. So when the school came about and all that, they called themselves the Rebels because they were the original rebels in Tennessee. They weren't volunteers; they were rebels. So,
well, it's like we still have Jefferson Davis in Montgomery.
Yeah,
and I think
Huntsville. Look at the teams.
I think Huntsville was a pro-Union city during the Civil War. By the way,
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that they were like Union sympathizers or something. I'm pretty sure it was. There's something that I've read before about it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You have to research that. That would be interesting to know. I didn't think that was the case. All right, we got to get a break. When we come back, Steve Merrill will join us from Pro Sports Info, and then in the final segment, I got to slip this in. I love the Joel Klatt, Danny Kanell fight that is going on. It's just fantastic. And I'm not a huge Joel Klatt fan, but I'm a fan of anybody that calls out Danny Kanell as an ass hat. I dislike Danny Kanell the most of anybody in the media. He's so pro ACC and anti SEC, and so I'll fill you in on that battle that's going on between those two guys. We'll be back. Pro Sports Info's Steve Merrill is next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Yeah. This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
NFL tonight, the line has moved in favor of the Bucs, now a 1.5-point favorite after opening a home underdog against the visiting Ravens. 45.5% total. On Sunday, the Falcons -4.5 at home against the Panthers, and the Saints a 1.5-point home underdog against the Raiders. College football, Alabama off Saturday. Auburn a 3.5-point home underdog against Arkansas. UAB a 5.5-point favorite at FAU. Pitching matchups are set for Game 1 of the World Series. The Astros a -175 moneyline favorite tomorrow. Justin Verlander starting against the Phillies at +145. Aaron Nola on the bump for Philadelphia. The over-under at 6.5. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This fall, Bob Wallace Appliance has everything you need to make your kitchen the perfect game day destination with appliances from Whirlpool and Maytag. Huntsville, Florence, Coleman, and at BobWallaceAppliance.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
I have a big head, and you don't have to have the brain the size of mine to know that you can save thousands at University Kia.
Right now, drive home a sporty, new 2022 Kia Forte for only $179 per month. Only at University Kia.
At Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
This fall, Bob Wallace Appliance has everything you need to make your kitchen the perfect game day destination with appliances from Whirlpool and Maytag. Huntsville, Florence, Coleman, and at bobwallaceappliance.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine across the area. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s. Dropping into the lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A little more cloud cover for your Friday afternoon. Still going to be a really nice day. Temperatures once again climbing into the low and mid-70s. It'll be a beautiful evening for some Friday night football. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I lied a little bit. Let me just clear something up for those history teachers that are out there listening to the show and historians. The county I live in, Franklin County, threatened to secede from Tennessee and join Alabama if Tennessee did not leave the Union, which the state did when they were forced to take sides by Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so they were threatening. They said, you know what? That's why it's the Franklin County Rebels now here at the high school. They're like, we're going to leave. We're going to Alabama. They said, we're going to just be good. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how they, we're going to go to Alabama if you do that. And Winston County in Alabama was largely pro-Union, and they actually sent more volunteers to the Union than they did to the Confederacy. Okay? But so Franklin County never actually became a part of Alabama. But they said they would if Tennessee didn't secede. So there you go, Grizz. Now
well, I know,
want to be accurate.
A lot of different regiments. I mean, like there were people that were from the Tennessee Valley area that fought for the Tennessee regiments. So
yeah,
you didn't necessarily have to be from that state.
No, I just wanted to be, because facts are important to me on the show. Said no one. All right, joining us now, a guy who really knows his facts when it comes to all things sports investing. I like to call it sports investing more than sports betting. He is Steve Merrill from Pro Sports Info. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
You got me Googling some history right now. It's 80-20 split, 120,000 and then 31,000 for the Union in Tennessee. So that's very interesting, actually. I like numbers.
I didn't know that anybody did that. We were talking about the fact that even some people in North Alabama were volunteering for the Union. I didn't realize that. I thought if you were in a state that was part of the Confederacy, you fought for the Confederacy. That was it. I didn't realize people, went and fought, for the Union. So there you go.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Everyone thinks this country's a mess right now. It was a lot worse 150 years ago.
It was bad. That was pretty bad. Although there are times that I living in the Southeast now, as I have for over 20 years, there are times when I say, I get it. I understand. Because right about now, I could use the rest of the country to kind of leave us alone. You know what I mean?
Sports betting in every state. That's my platform.
That's our platform, is we need sports betting in every state. Before we get to some of the specific football games, with the World Series coming up, do you play the long game? Do you like to go game by game, or is there any value in taking the heavily underdog Phillies in this thing and seeing whether or not they can they can actually win the series and do what the Braves did last year as an 88-win team when they beat Houston, which at that point was a 97-win team, not a 106-win team?
Yeah, I mean, in general, whenever you're looking at a series price versus game one, if you think, your team is going to win game one as an underdog, then obviously the series has some value. If not, you're much better off waiting until game two, and you're getting even a better. The Phillies are going to be maybe 3-1. If they lose game one, they'll be 3-1 to win the series down 0-1. And what's really interesting about this situation now is that yesterday they flip-flopped the starters. It's going to be Nola in game one, Wheeler in game two, as opposed to what we initially thought, Wheeler in game one. Both have been solid this year. Wheeler's been lights out. I think part of the reason is obviously Verlander is going in game one tomorrow night. Valdez looks a little more beatable. So it does look like the Phillies are trying to get that split and maybe capture game two, which means if you are looking at them for the series, you might want to wait, and play a little bit more if they lose game one.
So that's an interesting development there in the World Series. How you been doing with the NBA? Have you been able to get a good grip on it? I know the Lakers are an absolute disaster. I think the last time they opened the season 0-4, they ended up winning 17 games on the entire season. Last time LeBron was 0-4, which is rookie year with Cleveland, and they won like 36 or 37 games. But I dialing in a little bit on the NBA.
Yeah, NBA, it's a great time of year to be playing pro basketball. Very selective, maybe one game every other night or so. But the great thing about the NBA, just like baseball, that baseball's playing 15 games a day. They have as many games in one day as the NFL has in a week, but the NBA has as many NFL games in 1 or 2 days as the NFL does all week. So there's definitely some opportunity in pro basketball, and it's kind of an ebb and flow thing. It's all about motivation, and some teams have definitely started slow out of the gate. In fact, there's only 3 winless teams. You talked about the Lakers, the Magic 0-5, Sacramento 0-3. So that's the company that the Lakers are in right now. And not surprisingly, the Lakers are 0-4 against the spread. In fact, there is no other team in the NBA that has failed to cover a point spread yet other than the Lakers.
Well, and that's a lot of that public money, right? You don't get as many points as you would because it's the Lakers, and they kind of jip you out of a point or two. It seems like every time with that. Steve Merrill with us here. All right, let's look at college football. This is a sneaky good card, I think. Folks around here, if you're an Alabama fan, for example, and they're on their bye week, you start thinking about, well, should I rake the leaves this weekend? Maybe maybe I'll go to the trunk or treat downtown and walk around with the kids, on Saturday afternoon or do something like that. Go to the pumpkin patch. But you're going to miss a lot of really good football because there is a really good card here this weekend. And I'm fascinated by this Ohio State-Penn State game and whether, because Ohio State has played nobody. And Joe Klatt said that if Clemson was in the Big Ten East or the SEC East, that they would be third in the division. Ohio State is a 15.5-point favorite at Penn State. Penn State got spanked pretty good by Michigan at Michigan. Can Penn State hang within that point or within that mark?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that concerns you about the Michigan-Penn State result is it was close. It was a little misleadingly close. Michigan was up 13-0. Penn State briefly took a 14-13 lead, and then Michigan pulled away 45-17. But what, of course, jumps out to you in that game, last week Penn State won 45-17. The Michigan loss was 41-17, very similar numbers. But what stood out to me in that game, of course, was that Penn State gave up 418 rushing yards to Michigan. And they didn't have a turnover in that game. They still lost 41-17. So, assuming Michigan and Ohio State are two of the best teams in the country, I kind of have them pretty equal right now. That's not a good barometer for Penn State. With that said, this line is a little inflated. We talk about the Laker lines. You're paying a premium with these high-profile teams. And my power ratings favor Ohio State by less than 13. 12.8 is what my math projection is.
Yeah.
So over 2 touchdowns, there is some value with Penn State. Just don't know if they're in the same class right now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Ohio State can win a game at 10 or 11 points, and it feels like, a pretty easy win, but it's not a cover, and we have some of that in a few of these games here. Another one that is fascinating to me is Kentucky getting 12.5 at Tennessee. Tennessee owned this series for 100 years. I mean, I think they won 24 straight or 27 straight or some crazy thing. This used to be, they used to play for a beer barrel, but, the woke crowd said, no, you can't do that. Can't play for a beer barrel anymore. So so they don't. But this is Kentucky bourbon against Tennessee whiskey, and Kentucky's getting 12.5. They run the ball really well. They got Will Levis. He's getting more healthy. Tennessee has Georgia on the horizon. Is there something here? Could Tennessee actually get dumped in this game, or could it be a tight game?
So beer's getting canceled now. My goodness, we got problems.
No, you can't play for a beer barrel anymore. You can't play for the beer barrel because not the college kids never they don't know what beer is, right. So you can't play for a beer barrel.
Some of the college kids are underage, so they can't drink yet. I'm sure it doesn't. Right. It doesn't happen. What's interesting about this game is I know it's football, but obviously it'd be a pretty interesting basketball matchup, of course, as well. And the reason I say that is because I think the pace of play, that's something I use heavily when handicapping college hoops. We don't talk about it as much in football, but could Tennessee, high-profile, fast-paced offense, 50 points a game. Kentucky, though, has gone under in 6 of their 7 games this season. So I do think like Kentucky to the under, Tennessee to the over are somewhat correlated if you're looking at side and total. My power ratings, my math model projects a 17-point win for Tennessee. Obviously, it favors these high-scoring teams, so I'm not surprised it gives them a little premium. So 2 touchdowns or less, Tennessee's still the only way I would play this as they're an explosive team. I'm not looking to get in front of them. And if Kentucky gets behind here, going to be tough for them to catch up. LSU I thought was a good play against Tennessee a few weeks ago. Keep in mind they fumbled the opening kickoff. It was 7-0. Boom. They just couldn't catch up. So Kentucky has to keep this game close, which they might be able to do. They're a very good defensive team. Just don't know if they face anybody like Tennessee yet.
And I am cognizant, by the way, for those who think I'm insensitive, that there was an accident back in 1998 that took the life of a couple of it was an alcohol-related accident. It took the life of a couple of Kentucky football players. I understand that, but for this game was the battle of the barrel forever, and it just, it's going to happen. Kids are, unfortunately, some people are going to get hurt in an accident once in a while. I think we're overreact sometimes to some of that stuff. All right, speaking of another game that we can't talk about the way we used to talk about, it's not the cocktail party anymore. You can't call it the cocktail party. You know, it's always was the world's largest cocktail party when Florida and Georgia got together, and we're not allowed to call it the cocktail party, just like we can't call it the what is it now, the Red River rivalry. Showdown. That's what they call it now, right? No, Showdown. Red River Showdown now. It used to be the Red River Shootout, and then you can't call it that. Going to Red River War, no, we can't call it that. Red River Showdown or something like that. Anyway, at the cocktail party, as we call it in these parts, Florida gets 22.5 against Georgia. I've talked to a lot of people. None of us can remember Florida ever get, or Georgia, the line ever being this big in this game. I mean, this is as big a line we ever seen in this game. Feels like to me that Florida could kind of, it's a rivalry game. You know, this could be a little tighter than that. But what do you think? Is 22.5 enough for Florida against Georgia in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I was unaware that this was no longer the cocktail party. That's one of I thought that was always.
Can't call it the cocktail party.
It is still the cocktail, but it's still one of the greatest nicknames in all of rivalry. So it makes no sense to me whatsoever. But anyway, yeah. So my math model projects a 22-point win, 21.7 actually for Georgia. So the line's pretty much where it should be. You know, Georgia's another team I'm not looking to get in front in a focused spot. I know this is a rival dog, but I think Georgia will be pretty focused as well. They do have Tennessee on deck though next week. They do have Tennessee on deck, so a huge look ahead possibly. Maybe they take their foot off and win by exactly 21, pretty much around the line.
In the NFL, I had to take a double take and then a triple take because we put this one and beat the big dog. Packers are getting 11.5. I mean, against the Bills on Sunday night, 11.5. Looking ahead at the weather, it will not be real cold, even though that is, December or October 30th. It will not be real cold, but it will be rainy, it looks like, in Buffalo on Sunday night. What about the Packers getting 11.5?
Yeah, you know, we talked about Florida being a huge dog. This is, I think, the biggest Aaron Rodgers has ever been a dog with Green Bay. So this is pretty uncharted territory as well. Just to put it in perspective, the look-ahead line this summer was Buffalo -4. Now it's 11, so it's a full touchdown higher than what the advanced line was this summer. Even a week ago, before the teams played, the line was 8. So Green Bay losing, Buffalo on their bye week last week. So Green Bay losing to the Commanders as they road favorite bumped us a full field goal just in 1 week. And it's legit. I mean, Green Bay was outplayed last week. It wasn't a fluky loss to either the Jets or the Commanders. Their offense has some real problems right now, and just like the Lakers who we talked about earlier, you're going to be paying a premium with Green Bay. They're 2-5 against the spread, 4 straight losses. But now is the first time this season in which you're not paying a premium. You're actually getting extra points. Buffalo is coming off that bye week after the big Kansas City win. So we'll see if maybe there's a little bit of a flat spot here. But being Sunday night football and the Packers being a brand name still, hard to imagine the Bills are going to overlook this game. Everybody's calling for a Buffalo blowout. That always concerns me. But it is hard to imagine Green Bay can keep up with Buffalo if they come focused.
Of course, tonight we've got, one of our great trends is fading Tom Brady after dark, the Brady after dark trend. But, hell, you can fade him anytime you want. Now, I mean, holy mackerels. Yeah, they seem discombobulated. And as a Browns fan, of course, I'm looking for the Ravens to get tagged tonight down there. But I guess they're missing like 4 starters for Tampa Bay. And again, this Thursday night thing, it gets more and more heinous every week. And I know last week's game was a much better football game to watch, but this is a pretty important football game. These are two teams that are leading their divisions under 500 in the case of Tampa Bay. It's a very important football game to be playing basically without any practice, because yesterday would have been a practice day, and they don't even practice before this game.
Right, and both teams are banged up. The Bucs have had injuries for a while now. Their secondary is shorthanded once again. So that's where the injury report is more important in Thursday night football than any other time of the week, because like you said, both teams have just 3 days of rest and preparation. We do talk about how the road team is usually at a disadvantage because they lose one of those days due to travel. But I think the better team, or the weaker team rather, is at a bigger disadvantage. I do think Tampa's probably the weaker team in this game. So I think the home road thing kind of negates. We've seen an interesting line move in this, though. The look ahead a week ago was going to be Tampa -3. Bucs looked terrible against the Panthers. They're a 13-point favorite. They only scored 3 points. They go from being a 3-point advanced favorite to a 1-point dog, but now they're a 2-point favorite. Within the last day, the line has shifted. I think some of that has to do with injury reports for both teams. Interesting matchup here. Tampa and the Packers have both lost back-to-back games outright as a favorite, and now we're facing stronger opponents this week. And on a short week, it's hard to imagine that Tampa's fixed their problem.
And I know there was a lot of points last Thursday night, but the two games before that were just horrifically low-scoring games. And you look at Tampa Bay scoring 3 points against Carolina. That back number looks interesting. I'm surprised it's moved up a little bit. It looks like it's gone up a little bit. But, if you can get 46, that seems like a big number for this game that could be a clunker. I mean, this could be 14-10 or something.
Yeah, in fact, the unders on Thursdays have been cashing for several years now. And as you know, Tom, we've had a few unders this year, been easy winners, with even touchdowns weren't scored. Last week's game was high scoring, but a little misleading because Dalton threw back-to-back pick sixes at the end of the second quarter.
Right.
He actually played pretty well overall, but a lot of points last week. Some of it was junk garbage points. These Thursday games have been fairly low scoring, and once again, with just 3 days, hard to imagine Tampa's fixed their offensive problems.
It's interesting. The tickets are 56% to the over, but the money is 70% to the over. So it seems like maybe that's why the number's been going up. It opened at 44 and it's now 46. 70% of the people going to the over on that. I'm missing something, I guess. Of course, I've been missing it all year this year, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the sides are interesting, too, because it looks like more tickets and money are on Baltimore, yet they've gone from a 1-point favorite to a 2-point dog. And I'm not sure that's necessarily just sharp money. I think some of it's just injuries, guys in and out for Tampa and Baltimore.
What do you got going on with Wager Talk TV? When can we see your smiling face again? Are you doing like a special World Series deal? What's going on?
Yeah, actually we are. We're doing a World Series preview show today at about 1:45 Eastern, 12:45 Pacific Central, and of course that's archived 24/7. So check out Wager Talk TV later this afternoon. We'll have the World Series preview show up there, and then on Friday I do my top 25 college football video. I'll give you my projected math projections for every top 25 game, and then on Saturday my Fade the Public NFL video, in which I give you the most public sides. Historically, fading those have done pretty well long term. All of that's at Wager Talk TV. You can download the app on your favorite device, Wager Talk TV app, and get my best bets, Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com.
Excellent stuff. Steve, I appreciate you. Always great, man.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, we're going to break in here. When we come back, the genesis of the Joel Klatt, Danny Kanell spat. I think it's pretty funny. Plus, if you want to get in, you can get in right now. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I have a big head, and you don't have to have the brain the size of mine to know that you can save thousands at University Kia.
Right now, drive home a sporty, new 2022 Kia Forte for only $179 per month. Only at University Kia.
This event is part of the museum's Voices of Our Times series, dedicated to bringing in experts in the arts, entertainment, politics, and sports. For more information, visit hsvmuseum.org.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half or a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/take-it-to-the-house or rolltide.com/take-it-to-the-house. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The Huntsville Sports Commission, a not-for-profit organization, is driven by the love of sports. November brings some great sporting events to the Rocket City, including the AVCA Fall Collegiate Beach Championships November 4th through 6th, the Gulf South Conference Soccer Championship November 3rd through 6th, and the NCAA Division I Regional Cross Country Championships November 10th and 11th. For the love of sports, the Huntsville Sports Commission. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the Nick Saban Show.
We talk about finishing. That's like the number one word.
To Alabama football.
Touchdown, Alabama!
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage. Get pre-approved so that you can go out and look at a property. Forget about making an offer. You can't even look at properties right now without being pre-approved. So you want to make sure that you get that done with North Alabama Mortgage. It'll get you through the process as quickly and easily as possible. And if you're thinking refi, you still got a lot of value in your property. So if you're thinking refi, this is a good time to jump in and get that done, get your rate locked in, and get some of that money out of your property. It's North Alabama Mortgage, NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Brian Hamaker and his team, they are ready to treat you like family and make sure that they get you into the right property. Joe Klatt in a Twitter debate with Danny Cannell over Klatt's comments. If you saw him a couple of days ago, Joe Klatt said that Clemson would finish third in the Big Ten East or the SEC East. He said there's no way they would finish ahead of Tennessee or Georgia, and he didn't think there was any way they would have finished ahead of Michigan or Ohio State. And I think it's a very reasonable claim. I think there's no doubt about it that is a very reasonable claim. I don't know what they would do if they were in the SEC West. Would they be third in the SEC West? Fourth? Third? And what would they be doing if they were playing 8 SEC games? And how would that grind chew up Clemson? So Danny Cannell said, went after Joe Klatt and said, hey, Joe Klatt, set your Buckeye pom-poms aside. How would Clemson would be undefeated against Ohio State's schedule or Michigan's schedule at this point. I guarantee they would. Let's not act like the Big Ten is some gauntlet. Okay. What a dumb comment by Danny Cannell. Of course they would be undefeated if they were playing those schedules. But if they were playing Penn State's schedule and they had to play Michigan and Ohio State, they'd finish third. I mean, that's Klatt's point. But Danny Cannell, well, if they played Michigan or Ohio State's schedule right now, they would be undefeated too. Yeah, they would be undefeated too. But if they were playing Michigan State's schedule and they had to play Penn State and they had to play Michigan and they had to play Ohio State, they would end up third in the Big Ten East. And if they had played Georgia's schedule to this point, maybe they would be unbeaten. Maybe, maybe not. But if they had to play South Carolina's schedule and they had to play Georgia and play Tennessee, they're going to lose those games. Cannell. Let me get Brandon in here to wrap it up. What's going on, Brandon?
Joel and Danny, don't you hate it when lovers fight?
Man, I tell you, and I'm not a Joel Klatt fan very much, but anybody that can rip apart Danny Cannell like that is, is pretty solid.
Well, that three-way phone call you had this morning was that was laughable. Good job. And
neither one of them wanted to go. I thought they would come on a little stronger. Neither one of them really, they were like, what?
Well, Philip's been ranting about college football and what's wrong with it. So if you don't win your conference, you shouldn't get in. So I guess he's against wild cards in any sport then, because technically you should only have, 4 teams in the NFL playoffs?
Well, yeah, because his team lost in the wild cards.
Well, that's the thing, is that why I said to him over and over again, I said, so the Mets shouldn't even have been in because they were the wild card.
Well, I'm going to watch this video of this guy eating 100 Christmas tree cakes in one sitting again because I'm going to get a laugh.
Pretty awesome.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
I can maybe do about 30.
100 Christmas tree cakes? Oh, the little Christmas
the
tree
little
cake
Debbie
thing?
Christmas tree cakes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would die on the air if I did that.
I look forward to that year, every year, that time of year.
Did I die? Oh.
No, the Christmas tree cakes. My goodness.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would eat about 6 of them and I'd keel over. All right, coming up next, it's the Chuck Oliver Show. I'm Thom Abraham for Grizz. This is 97.7